Welcome back, everyone. This is Jarenitis bringing you Feed the Beast Unleashed, episode 26. Today, we're going to cover a couple of little things. We're going to get started by showing you guys how to breed bees. We want to get specific things from our bees so that we can make other specific things from other products that our bees produce. If you didn't catch all of that, well, it's a process, and you'll see. In between episodes, I decided to get rid of the steam engines from over here and just use an energy tesseract for now. It's not the most efficient way, but it works. And I've let the bees run for a little while. I've gotten the ME system set up here, and I've got a mess of cables and stuff back here. Pipes. Got pipes. So we've got a good many of these particular things running. I've got bees in every single thing that has an autarkic gate hooked to it. So I still need 2, 4, 6, 8 more autarkic gates to let these continue to function. But for now, we're not going to worry about that too much. As things come out, we have every single one is set up the same way. Here we have any bees go down the white path, and anything else goes down the black path. So they're pumped out from the back there, they come into the apiaries pipe, any bees go up into the top, and anything else goes down through the bottom. Down here we have an iron transport pipe that then pushes things into the center here, and then from the center they can only go this way. Here we meet this, here it splits them up. We have items that go to blue and any bees that go to yellow. So items that go up through here, this is going to be the honeycombs that need to be centrifuged. They go up that way. This diamond pipe is for later when we're producing things that don't go into the centrifuge, so we can use that to cart things off to the side. Here, any bees go over this way. Then they meet this right here, and any purebred bees go off to the right here, which then get imported into the system through the basic import bus that we have going right here. And then the hybrids go in here, and they're just going to get kept off to the side because they are not pure anything. They're part one and part another. So that's how we want that to run. I'll explain more about why I have that set up that way later. But for now, what I want to do, because right now we're producing honey fairly regularly. I've let this run for quite a while, and I've imported a bunch of bees into it. So you guys can see here that I have 6,000 beeswax. I have 800 honey drops that haven't been squeezed. Now, I haven't squeezed the honey drops because I'm keeping them aside. I'm keeping them aside because you need honey drops to be able to analyze your bees. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go back over here, and we're going to make a couple extra apiaries that we're going to use for breeding. Actually, I may have some. Nope, but that's okay. We'll just make 10 for the fun of it. 4 should be plenty. We'll probably only use 2 at a time. So anyway, we got the extra apiaries here. Now these will be manually run apiaries, mainly because I'm going to be breeding, and while I'm breeding I need to make sure I do things very slowly. So one of the things we're going to want is to be able to see what kind of bees we are going to have. Because when you're trying to... Am I missing something? B-E-E. Oh, okay. I was just spelling it wrong. Anyway, here's the beealyzer. We're going to want to make one of these so we can analyze our bees and see what kind of traits they have and see what kinds they are, so that we can then breed them specifically to get other types. So we're going to need redstone, diamond, glass pane, and tin. And this is done in a carpenter with water. Remember last episode I said we were going to make this water carpenter. Well, I did, and here we are with water and a carpenter, and all we need to do is put in the recipe. So we need diamonds, and then we're going to need tin, and we're going to need glass panes, and was that it, or was there something else? Oh yeah, redstone. Where am I ever going to find redstone? I don't have any of that. Okay, so now we can put diamonds here, redstone here, tin here, 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 and here. Nope, not there. And then glass panes here and here. So you put the pattern in up here, and then you put the items necessary to make it down here, and it draws from down here to make the stuff up here. Now, as you can see, I've put enough in there to make 2 Bealizers, just in case I lose my first. Or in case I happen to use it to do something else. The Bealizer can be used to make other items. I don't usually get into that, so I probably won't, but for now, cha-ching, we have a Bealizer. Okay, so now with the Bealizer and my other stuff, we're going to go to sleep because it's nighttime and we want the bees to work. Because most of the bees don't work at night. So now we're going to go back over to Honeycomb Hideout. And we're going to set up the bee breeding station. Now, there's a lot of different things we can do for bees. So many so that it's just kind of ridiculous, actually. But we're going to put these here, 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 and... let's try this. Here, 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 and here. Okay. You know, it actually would make more sense to do this underneath, back where all the other stuff is, so I have access to all the items. Let's do this way instead. Let's place these here, here. Dadgummit, I did it again. Here and here. Okay, so we're going to put an Oblivion frame in each of these. Oblivion frames to make breeding a lot quicker. There are other ways to do things like putting in a soul frame. A soul frame makes it more likely to breed the way you want it to. I don't like doing that. I prefer to breed my bees normally. So there are 2 things that we're going to want to get. There's so many bee species that it's kind of ridiculous trying to get through all of them. But to give you a good idea, let's do this. Alright, here is a list of 3 pages of different versions of princesses. So, and the ones that we want are going to be specific because they make specific items that I'm going to want. So, I'm going to want to get Industrious. So we're going to start by going for Industrious. We're going to want Industrious and Imperial because they make the stuff necessary to make the alvearies. Alvearies are basically giant bee huts, giant apiaries, giant beehives that make things produce a lot faster. So to get Industrious, we need Unweary and Diligent, neither of which we have. So let's focus on the first one because it's Diligent. Diligent is common plus cultivated. Well, I happen to have both common and cultivated stuff here. So first thing I'm going to need is I'm going to need an extra princess. I don't have very many extra princesses, but what I can do is take one from my current beehive, and we're going to use a cultivated princess, so that means we're going to need common drones, because common plus cultivated. So, since I have them all stored here, I can just take from the common drones that I have here, and we can go ahead and get this going. So for now, we're going to put this sky obstructed. Ah, crud. I knew there was a problem with doing this down here. Oh, my, my, my. Well, I guess we'll just have to do it out there. Alrighty. I had this planned out very well ahead of time. I hope you realize. Because, you know, if you think that I have just, you know, completely just thrown this out of here for, you know, nothing, then you'd be right. But I'm not going to admit it. Because I don't admit things. Okay, so we want this queen to die off because she's a pure cultivated queen. And I'll show you that here in just a second. While she's doing that, we're going to need some honey drops. Honey drops fuel the Bealizer. And without them, it's useless. So, we're going to put the Bealizer in our hand and right-click, and it brings up the menu. The GUI, if you will. and we're going to put the honey drops right here. So we're going to take the common drones, and we're going to put them in this slot right here, and it analyzes them. It says that it is a common, meaning it's purebred. It has a shorter lifespan, slower speed, slowest pollination. What it needs to work is flowers. It produces 2 drones per thing, a 9 by 6 by 9, and has no effects. Effects are like it can sting you, it gives it poisons you, it can cause health regeneration. There's all kinds of different ones. So in the second column it says if it prefers a normal climate, temperature tolerance is none, so it has to be normal. Humidity tolerance is none, so it has to be that way. No variation in temperature humidity is allowed. So diurnal means that it works during the day. Nocturnal means it works at night. Flyer means that it can work in the rain. And cave means that it can work even if it can't see the sky. As we have just observed, we have problems with when we can't see the sky. So the next thing we want to do is we want to take these cultivated out of here, and we're going to go ahead and analyze the cultivated princess, showing that it's cultivated and cultivated, and blah blah blah, so on and so forth, diurnal, whatever. It even says I have 182 generations in captivity. I have been using these guys. The cultivated make honey really quickly. They're pretty good at that. As you can see right here, their work speed is fast, so they produce things a lot. That's why most of all of these apiaries have cultivated bees in them, just making honey so I can have lots of honey. That will be changed as we progress. So now in here we're going to put cultivated, and we're going to put a common drone. Now I probably don't actually need the rest of these. I'm going to keep them aside just in case, because I don't really know what we're going to come up with. But now we have a cultivated queen, and the cultivated queen is a hybrid. It's got cultivated princess and a common drone, which makes it a cultivated common thing. Now when she dies, she'll produce offspring. She'll produce a princess and however many drones. And what we want to see is it change into a new version of itself. So we got cultivated, and common. Now that's what it says, but we want to beelize them and see, this is a cultivated common princess, not a pure cultivated anymore. So, and then the drone that we got is also cultivated noble. Well, we weren't trying for noble, but we are going to need noble, so that would be fine as well. That being the case, I'm just going to stick both of these back in here and see what we come up with again. Now, let's see. Industrious was diligent. Common and cultivated equals diligent. Now, the problem that we're going to wind up with... Nope, don't do that. Unweary is diligent and cultivated. Diligent is common and cultivated. So, why did we wind up with a noble part? Noble is common plus cultivated. So you can get common plus cultivated equals noble or diligent. In this case, we got noble. So now we should have some more stuff here. We'll beelize these. This one is a cultivated noble. This one is a pure cultivated. And this one is a common cultivated. So I'm going to take this cultivated noble and stick it aside with some normal cultivated drones, and hopefully we'll get a noble out of it. In the meantime, we're going to take a new cultivated princess and go ahead and have her die off in here, and when she dies, we're going to combine her with a common drone, and then that should be fine. Now you're going to wind up with a whole bunch of extra stuff here. It's one of the things I want to bring out here. I don't really want to keep a bunch of these hybrid ones. I'm just going to void most of them because I have... As long as I don't void a princess, I'll be fine. I've got all the drones I could possibly want. So, actually keeping most of these is going to be more trouble than it's worth. So now, we're going to take this cultivated, combine it with the common, and hope for what we wanted before. This one died out, and we wound up with a cultivated noble princess, nothing new there. And we've got a cultivated noble drone and a cultivated noble drone. So I'm going to put this cultivated noble princess back in with a cultivated noble drone, and hopefully we'll get a noble back out of it. But in the meantime, I don't need the pure cultivated, I don't need the pure common, I don't need the pure cultivated, common cultivated, common that's unscanned, and a common noble. I'm going to keep the common noble drone because I may be able to use it still. And this is a common cultivated, which I really don't need. Alrighty, so now let's see what we got. We got a common princess with some cultivateds. And this is a common diligent. And this one is cultivated diligent. And this one's cultivated common. So we don't want this one, but we do want this one. And that one's cultivated noble. So now we're going to put the common diligent in with the cultivated diligent and hopefully get just straight diligent. And we on it with a pure cultivated. That's not good. Cultivated noble, and cultivated common. So we don't want the cultivated common, but we're going to go ahead and combine this cultivated noble princess with this cultivated noble drone. And hopefully we'll be able to get those to be useful. As you can see, this process would take quite a while. I'm showing you how it's done so that in the future, when I say, hey, I bred things, here's how it wound up, you guys can go, oh, well, this is how it wound up. Okay, cultivated queen, that one's the one we're going for noble, so we want this one to be cultivated diligent, and we want a diligent one to go with. Unfortunately, it's now nighttime again, and so we're going to have to leave this and go sleep. Now, I was really hoping to get a purebred new version B before we wound up moving on, but every time I breed new bees, I'll be sure to show you what the combination is, although I probably will do very little bee breeding on camera, just because, as you can see, this can get to be a little monotonous. Let's see, we wound up with pure cultivated, and that did not work out how we wanted to, so we're going to put the pure cultivated in with the cultivated noble, since that's what we're going for. And maybe we'll get a noble out of it. In the meantime, here we have some more. And we wound up with cultivated diligent. Cultivated. Oh, we already knew that. Cultivated diligent. And cultivated diligent. So we're going to try again. Cultivated diligent. Go. Give me straight diligent, please. As you can see, we're going to burn through these particular honey drops rather quickly. Wow, 2 different cultivated normals and no noble. See, this is why I kept this particular drone handy. That way I can go ahead and put noble and hopefully come out with a full noble hybrid, noble new setup. Cultivated junk. Okay, so now this one's ready. Ah, there's diligent. So we now have a diligent princess, but unfortunately we still have cultivated drones. So we still aren't actually where we need to be. These are both cultivated diligent. These are all cultivated diligent, but I'll bet... Oh, nope, she's a purebred princess. So now we're going to put the purebred princess in with one of these, and hopefully we're going to get what we want. I'm going to use this one here because, as you can see, it says it's a fast worker. So we're going to toss that one in here. And this one should be ready. And there we have a noble princess and a noble drone. But the question is, are they purebred? Noble. Sweet. We now have noble stuff. Okay, so we're going to put the noble in there and let them just burn through because we actually want them to stay as noble. And I'm going to want extra drones. So now we have noble queen. And now we have noble bees. With a little bit of luck, these will both be purebred bees themselves. This is diligent, and diligent. Cool. And there you have it. We now have noble and diligent bees. So now what I'll probably do is I'll actually take these out and put them in a normal apiary here, and I will run them in circles and produce more of the bees that I desire. So I actually am going to want several of these, because the noble bees and the diligent bees will be used for a bunch of different things. So I'm going to put these here, and I'm going to go ahead and use an Oblivion frame to go ahead and breed these through rather quickly, so that we can go ahead and get more of the drones. So see, now we have 3, and that will continue to produce like that. So now we're going to take, oops, not that one, this one. Okay, so now we just need to produce more of these guys, which will be simple enough. We will put the princess in, and we'll put the Oblivion frame in, and we'll let them burn through. Now, if we ever need any more Oblivion frames, all we have to do is start killing monsters and using the loot bags to get more of those. It's not the best way to do it, but, well, it actually is the best way to do it. It's just not the most efficient. So, let's see. Now that we have those running, and once I get enough of the drones from them, because I want quite a few drones from them in case I ever need them again, we'll be able to use those. So now we are going to do the Industrious Bee. Now the Industrious Bee, as we saw, requires Diligent, which we now have from the Common Cultivated version, and it's going to need Unweary, which is going to be Diligent plus Cultivated. And we actually could have accidentally gotten these when we had the Diligent Cultivated hybrid that we used to try to get pure Diligent. It could have come out Unweary by itself, but you can see it's only an 8% chance. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use a Cultivated Queen, which you already have plenty of, and we will use Diligent Drones to try to get Unweary. But we won't do that until we have excess Diligent Drones, which actually we kind of already do. So I can actually just cheat this through real quick, because technically speaking, since we have, oops, that's noble. Nope. Okay, so see, now we have 2 Diligent Drones here, but now it's going to go up to probably 4 and then back down to 3. Okay, so I can take these 3 pure Diligent Drones and use them. And these cultivated drones that don't belong with the rest of this are going to go into the to be deleted. So then the other cultivated drones can actually go back into this system because they stack up. And there we go. So now we can actually take a cultivated queen, which I believe I was stealing one, or did I already? Yeah, I already stole one. And we're going to put the cultivated queen in here to die, and then we will let her breed with the Diligent, and hopefully we'll get some of the others. Now, off camera, I'm going to let this happen quite a bit. I'll let the world run and let the bees breed through and make a whole bunch of extra drones of the version that I want. That way, if I ever want another princess of that type, I can just take any princess, combine it with the drones, and a whole bunch of drones plus the princess will eventually breed out what I want. That's actually how I wound up with all of the different cultivated. I didn't actually have all these cultivated princesses. I just took any princess, added a bunch of cultivated drones down there, and let them auto-cycle. And eventually, when the princess constantly gets bred with the cultivated drone of this type, eventually it will straighten out and stick like this. Half a stack is usually more than enough. So now, let's see what we wind up with. Now, as I said, you can add a soul frame here, and the soul frame will actually make it so that you have a better chance of them mutating, of them changing into what you want. Cultivated Diligent, Cultivated Diligent, Cultivated Diligent. But I prefer to do it the natural way. I mean, I'm using the Oblivion frame to help them die off faster, and that's all well and good, but you know, ultimately I'd rather let them just continue to run on their own and just do their own thing. So if you want to, you can use soul frames and stuff like that to try to increase the mutation rate, but I personally just don't. This technically can take longer and probably will take longer, but I'm happier with it this way. Okay, we're on with Diligent again. So let's see, we got a diligent, 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 and diligent, diligent. See, that's not working out the way I want to. So we're going to put the diligent in along with the fast worker cultivated, and that gets those back going again, and we can ditch these because these aren't what we want. And yeah, we're going to throw you away too. So I'm also basically trying to make them be fast workers as well, make them fast working, by using the fast working drones to breed in with them, hopefully getting out fast working new species. Aha! We have an unweary princess. Is she all? Yep, she is purebred unweary. And we have diligent cultivated and diligent cultivated. So we have the unweary princess. Unfortunately, when we toss her back in here, there's a good chance that I will not wind up with the same ones that I want back. Wait a minute. Fast worker, fast. Okay, we're using the fast worker drone. That way we hopefully will come out with another fast working princess. So this one is now normal worker, shortened life. So hopefully we'll get a purebred diligent, purebred unweary that has fast work. That's what I would like to have happen. But we'll have to see. Here in just a second it'll pop through and we'll find out. Come on, Lucky. Ew. Alrighty, we wound up with a cultivated unweary, a diligent industrious. Kind of good there. We actually want an industrious. That's what we're going for, but I really want to get purebred versions of each on the way through. So what we'll do is we'll actually keep this partial industrious off to the side just in case, and we'll put the cultivated unweary and the unweary diligent back in here. Fast worker and fast worker as well. So that's good. With any luck, I will get pure unweary out the other side with fast work. Now later on as we do this, we're going to actually get into more complicated things like forcefully changing the traits on the bees. But it just turned nighttime, we'll have to sleep again. I didn't intend to use this whole episode on bee breeding, but this is going slower than I intended. But I suppose that's to be expected. I'm planning on things going quickly, and of course they aren't going to. Oh, stop that. Thank you. Okay, well, we went with unweary, unweary, and cultivated. And this is unweary diligent. And this is unweary cultivated. And this is cultivated diligent. This is not going well. Let's see. So we're going to go with cultivated diligent because that's the princess. And we're going to choose the unweary cultivated with the fast worker here. We'll hold this aside. This could go very badly. This has the potential to go to a straight cultivated. But, I mean, it really is just genetics. If you know anything about genetics, this is how this stuff works. Now, I mean, you can introduce things to try to make things mutate, you know, have babies next to a nuclear reactor and see how it turns out. But, you know, we don't... I like to let them breed naturally. Although I may change that stance if this doesn't work out well. Yeah, we're starting to breed back cultivated. And unfortunately, cultivated is actually a fairly strong trait. Cultivated comes through a lot. So we have cultivated, unweary, unweary diligent, unweary diligent. Okay, so these are basically the same. We're toss that one in there. And this one is just a normal cultivated, just like this one, so they can both be deleted. But in the meantime, we can actually check on these. We're up to more than 12 and 15. The noble will actually use them quite a bit, and I like their stuff. So I will actually continue to let them breed, and I will just take their drones out. That's probably enough drones where I can take the Oblivion frame out and just let them work normally. And these I'll probably keep them burning for a little bit. But eventually, what I'm going to want is at least a... Ooh, we got green. Pure? Oh. Pure? Oh. Alrighty, well, try again. Normal, fast, normal, fast. Okay. So, we're getting there. It's a slow process, as I said. But, we'll keep cultivated, unweary, industrious, unweary, diligent, cultivated, unweary. We'll just hold on to those for now and see what we come up with this one. So, we're actually getting close to the wrapping up point. We're going to spend this entire episode breeding bees. However, in between episodes, I'll probably record the next episode immediately after this one and go through the rest of the stuff that I was going to go through while this was happening. Ah, crap. Cultivated, unweary, unweary. There's the pure unweary I want. And cultivated. So now, I'm going to keep the pure unweary drone off to the side. That way, if I ever get a pure unweary princess, I can just go ahead and go with it. So cultivated unweary is going to go with cultivated unweary or unweary diligent. Let's go with cultivated unweary here. So now I've got a pure unweary drone. So if I get a pure unweary princess, all I have to do is put this with her, and boom, we have pure unweary setup. So for now, actually this one is just a straight cultivated, so I don't care about it. Go away. Unfortunately, I had if having the pure princess earlier, I would have had to get a whole nother princess and start messing with her to try to get a pure drone. I could have done it that way, but I chose not to. Maybe that was the wrong thing to do. Go figure. And here we go. Come on, baby. Pure. Yes! We now have pure unweary bees. And they're fast workers. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so now we can actually... Well, actually, I don't need to put them there. I can put them up here. Does this one have... Nope, that's one of the ones without. And this one is... Oh, good. This one doesn't have anything in it anyway. So, good. We can put that there and leave that with it to make them burn through faster. And we can just let these guys process. I'll take the Oblivion frames out, and... Did I get extras? I got extras. Okay, good. So, there we go. We now have 3 new versions of bees. We have Diligent, we have Noble, and we have Unweary, which is going to work out nicely. Now, that didn't work out how I thought it would. Did we wind up with only... let's see. Fertility is 2 times, so I should have had extra drones there, but I didn't. Well, let's watch this burn through. Once this burns through, we're going to wrap it up. I should get more than 1 drone out of this. If I don't, then I might have a problem here. Because they could be both pure... Okay, we're fine. If they're both pure unweary, they may have other traits down the line that still don't match up with the rest. And that can cause other hybrids where there are pure bees, but like one's a fast worker and one's a medium worker. Or one has a problem with what kind of thing it uses to pollinate. Or something of that nature. So we're going to keep the Diligent Industrious because we want it. Industrious is what we're going for after all. So that's going to be it for now. We will come back and we will continue to breed bees until we get what we want. Or rather, I probably will do that in between. The other thing I need is to be able to gather bees without having to have so much trouble doing so. So next episode, we're going to play with some more Thaumcraft toys. Alrighty, this is Jaronitis signing off on episode 26 of Feed the Beast Unleashed. And remember, help spread the gaming.